Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Gina, and today I am trying to make some journal covers and journals. But I'm making the journal covers using some old packaging that I have. I am not accustomed doing this, so it's an experiment for me. And I'm also going to try to cover it with cloth. I'm going to use cloth to cover it and see how that works. I've watched tons of videos and I I think it's about time that I actually try it instead of just absorbing. I want to do some output. So, wish me luck. And as you can see, the video is very long. I hope you stick it out and, create with me too. You could make a journal yourself or do some crafting or whatever creative thing you want to do and just spend some time with me. That'll be cool. Usually, when I do these things, whatever it is I'm doing, yes, sometimes I do measure, but a lot of the times I either completely or I incorporate just averaging. I usually just average. So I hope you all don't expect to find any kind of measurements in the description because there are none. It's just averaging and, trying to figure things out as I go along. I put the tape there because there was a little tab flap thing that happened. I mean, that's how the box came. So I just put the tape there to keep it from flapping. So yeah. And I spent, now this took me a long time and I was very ambitious. I realized that because I usually have these big ideas and then they kind of whittle down sometimes into something very different. So with this one, I wanted to do several journals all at once, and I thought I'll just film it. But I think because I was filming, it took a lot longer and things got complicated. And I only ended up completing one, to be honest. But it because I was doing several, it did help me to get accustomed to doing the process, instead of just doing it one and done. You know, it's like try when you do a recipe, you make something, you do it several times, you get better at it, and you could adjust accordingly. But if you do it once and then you wait a while, you kind of forget. Well, that's what happens with me anyway. So I know some people they hand real good, and whatever they make is like spectacular. That's not me. I need to practice. So right now I'm actually using fabric glue. This is by Sargent. I find it's very similar to tacky glue, which I suppose is just glue um, that's not so liquidy, so it's more sticky and tacky, which I really like because it also cuts down on the drying time and the moistness, which tends to get in the way sometimes. So with the cloth, this is fantastic, and I'm using regular cotton because I find it's nice and thin enough, but strong enough as well. I'm making a little bit of a mess, but that's okay. And while I was doing this, I mean, there are so many different ways to do these book covers. There are so many different ways. And I was trying to figure out which one should I do and how should I do it and what should I use. So for my inside sheet, I don't know, I can't remember what they call it, but for the inside to cover this cloth part, I thought I would use my collage sheets so I've had a lot of collage papers and I just found that I wasn't using it or wasn't using it fast enough. So I just stuck them down on some drawing sheets in a drawing book and I have them there. So I thought, let me see if any of them could match with the pattern cloth, well, the cloth that I have. And I thought it was actually a pretty good idea. I know some people use cloth, but for me, I don't know. Well, I guess it's the cloth that you have to see if it matches and how it matches and, the material of it. So I have different pieces that I get from my seamstress, some excess, but some of them were not suitable. And my daughter uses these box macaroni, which I actually really do not like. I can't stand it. I don't get it for her. Somebody else gives it to her because they know I don't get it for her. And So I asked her to keep the boxes for me. So I've been hoarding them to use because I just find they're so cute and it'll make the perfect book. But I didn't realize after I cut it how small the book actually turns out. It's really tiny. But I think that's pretty cool so that you don't feel overwhelmed as well by the size of your book. And that's one thing that I've learned doing this as well is that, sometimes a size might look good, but when it comes to actually using it, it might just feel too overwhelming and just too big. So I think the small size is good. And I think it's cool to start off. For certain people, obviously, I know some people are just fine with the big size, but I think for certain people, I think a small book to start is very cool, and you could always graduate up in size and thickness as well. So, and then I mean, you could decide what you want to use it for and all of that. So this is actually regular school glue that I'm using, not tacky glue, and the cloth that I have, I find that it's too see-through, so I'm going to cover it with paper first and then add the cloth. And I think after I finished, I was thinking I could have just leave it in the paper and, decorate the paper. But I had already made up my mind that I was going to use a cloth anyway, so it's fine. I guess it'll give it some extra strength too. I don't know. But yeah, afterwards I was like, why don't just leave the paper and just use the paper instead of covering it over with a cloth? But it's fine. So I'm just measuring and covering. See, what I'm doing is measuring it against the box instead of actually measuring with a ruler. So that's why I say I just kind of average things. And I just find it's faster. And for my brain, it's easier. I know everybody's different. So I would like to thank all of you for your patience with me. I know it has been a very long time since I posted a video. It's not that I haven't been creating, I have been. I did take a break by force, but because of my schedule change, school started back and then the traffic has been terrible. My body is adjusting to everything again. My life is just adjusting to everything again. So, it's been very difficult to post. And I decided this time around that I wanted to be, I didn't want to add any extra pressure because as much as I want to share with you all and engage, which I really, really love it, at during that time that I've been away, it's been very stressful for me, and I needed to take some time and regroup and get some things sorted out in my life, you know, before I start back. So I am very happy to be back. For those of you who are here, for those of you who view, for those of you who comment, I'm really, really happy to be back, and I really look forward to hearing from each and every one of you. No matter how small you think your comment might be, or you might think it's insignificant, it really does matter and it makes a big impact in my life. And I mean that. You all have no clue. The smallest comment, it makes a big impact. And I appreciate each and every one of you. I really do. This method of covering the book, like I said, I know that there are several. I know some people cut the corners, but I thought for strength, let me try the fold over method on the corner and see if that could work. And I kind of like it a lot, actually. And I think it makes the corners stronger, which is what they say. It's just, I'm not the neatest person with this. It was a very messy, sticky process for me. And you look at some videos and you're like, yeah, man, I could do that. They look, they make it look so easy and clean and quick. And that's not how it is. At least not for me. That's not how it is. Look at this little book. I just find it so cute. I love the cover. It's so bright and vibrant, and I love the inside too because it's also bright and vibrant. I really like it. And did I tell you all I did not know how to use the lines on my cutting mat? I don't know if I'm the only one, and I'm okay with that. But yeah, it's only a while after using it that I realized, oh my gosh, because I used to watch videos and wonder, how are they getting the line so straight? Because I didn't see them pull out a ruler. I know it sounds really lame, but I was just like, you have that aha moment. Yeah, I had that. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. So now I love using it. I just measure it up and it's easy to line up and cut and keep, straighten things. And it's just fantastic. So, yay. And I'm sure I'm not the only one, but it's okay if I am. I love this one. I really love this one. It's so bright. It's beautiful. It's so bright. And I like this red one too. I think I did what? Maybe 5 pieces? 4 or 5? I don't know. So here's another one that I'm going to... Oh, this is the one where the piece was missing. And I stuck the piece on. So I'm just covering this one again with the book page. And then I'll cover it with the cloth. All right, so I'm done with that. And for this one, so for each one, I'm trying to use a different type of cloth to see how it comes out, and of it also obviously to have a variety, right? But this cloth, I mean, it was an experiment. It is an experiment, and I appreciate having tried it. And I've learned a lot. One of the things being that some types of material just should not be used, or probably try a different method of, like, this was very, very difficult to stick. It's, you see, it just, if I had used the other regular cotton, it would have stayed in place. This one, I had to put pins all over the place. It just would not stay at all. It's thick, and then I don't even know the name of the material. It's just, it's shiny, kind of, and it just, no. And I guess for a first timer like me, definitely no. It was so hard. This was so hard. And then I'm trying to get the corners straight. It was really hard. So, I mean, learn from my mistakes, learn from my efforts. And any tips, if you have any tips using difficult cloth, that would be fantastic. I would love to get some tips from you all if you have anything, to help me, because I mean, the cloth is nice, so I think it's cool to be able to use it. I just would love to know how to use it better. So I look forward to hearing from you. Just tell me how to use it better. What to do? What tricks do you have? Talk to me. And yes, I am going to take it to the sewing machine, but just to even get it in place, look at this, a million clips, a million. And then because of the material too, the glue, you just see it everywhere, you know. I mean, this one looks ugly too, but thank God it's gonna get covered. But still. So I'm trying now to measure the inside again, the inside sheet, to cover it down. To cover inside, sorry. And I never, honestly, when I did these sheets in the drawing book, I never thought that I would use them as inside, covers for books. Never thought. I think maybe I thought I could use it as an outside cover, but not on the inside, which is strange, I guess. But yeah. So I sewed it, ta-da, but there's a belly on both sides because I just sewed around and down the middle, down the creases on both sides. But there's a lot of bellying happening. So I sewed this one too, and now for this one, I'm going to try using this beautiful piece of cloth. It's so pretty on the inside, but I'm trying to save pieces to use as well as, find a decent piece to use inside, that would work. And while I was doing this, I was thinking, yeah, using the paper is much easier. I prefer using the paper for sure on the inside. But I love it though. It's just, I try to use pieces that would make me want to go back into it and do stuff, because we feast with our eyes first, whatever the feasting is. And look at this cupcake cloth. Isn't it fantastic? I just find it's the cutest thing ever. That I don't know where she got this from. I don't know what the person made with. Well, had to be curtains. I think maybe they made. Oh, could have been an apron. They probably made an apron. I don't know. But anyway, I sewed that one and it came out lovely. So now I'm going to put this one down, and I just think it fits so well with the red as well. It's just pretty. I love it. And I'm just trying to square it off, which proved to be very, very difficult for me. Again, you see people doing things and you're like, yeah, I could do that. Let me try it. And then you realize, for me anyway, how difficult it is. So the challenge was real. I'm trying to smooth it out, get it as smooth as possible so there wouldn't be any wrinkles. And when you cut, you can't uncut it because it's cut. So that was also a little issue for me. These books were a challenge, but I think it's awesome. See, I'm cutting it really badly. Okay, it's not too bad. But then I wanted to cut the right end off a bit. Yeah, I just spent a lot of time trying to sort this piece of cloth out. But I'm also going to stitch around it to get it firmly in place. But I'm just going to put the glue first just to keep it in place, and then I'll be able to stitch freely without it, sliding all over the place while I'm stitching. So that I'm going to just put that aside and bring forth the other book and try and do the same thing so I could carry all of them down to the sewing machine. It's so pretty. Look at that. I love it. And then we're going to do this one. Well, I still have to straighten it up, but I'm going to try the same thing. This one now, I'm going to try to do a curved spine on this one, and I'm looking for another piece of cloth to put inside, but I'm excited about the idea of the curved spine because I like those soft curved spines. I want to try it with this first before I try it with a bigger one. Ooh, exciting. And I just found this paper as well, matched it really nicely, and I'm excited to use it. Here I am using the lines on my board. Yay! Anyways, so for this one, I'm going to stick it down. Make sure it's nice and stuck. I'm going to rest some books on top of it so it'll be nice and flat and it'll get really, really stuck. Smoothing everything out, I'm using my spreader just to push everything into the book and get it really stuck, making sure that there's glue everywhere and sticking that down. I love it. I really, really like it. And again, it's so tiny, right? So these are little rice bags that I made, and I'm using it as a nice little weight. I carried these down and I sewed them. The blue one I sewed down the middle a couple of times because that's the one that had the belly. It was horrible. So I just put some stuff down And this is the curved spine one. I'm trying to still keep the curve. And I'm still going to leave it. So I have what, about 6 there? About 6 books. So now I'm going to gather some papers to put in my books. I've taken papers from an old storybook, just some random papers from wherever. Because of course, well, not of course, but this is going to be it's going to be a scrapbook, a journal. It's not going to be a book where we have only blank pages. So I'm just gathering pages from all over to put in my books. I think 1 or 2 of them I'll probably just use for sketching. But like I said, I only completed 1. So let's see how it goes. With these, I decided that I liked the pictures very much and I wanted to keep them. So I'm just making some hinges for the pages so that I could put them together and they will stay upright and they'll stay together inside of my new books where they'll have a new home. Will they be covered in the book? I don't know, but it's just to make some hinges. I'm going to use some envelopes as well, some old envelopes as pages. It's all sorts of things. Some book pages, just random. Some other old envelopes, different colors. I have some coffee dyed papers that I've had forever. And that's another reason why I'm doing this project for myself as well. It's to use things, because I would have tried different things in the past and then I just left it. I didn't use them for anything. Or, that's not true. I didn't use as much as I would have liked. Because I have used I remember using the whatchamacallit, the coffee dyed papers. So I do use them, just not as frequently as I would like. So, and then it's so addictive too. I just think that sometimes I can't stop. So I would coffee dye a bunch of papers and not use half of them because it's just really exciting to do. I also tried the baby oil on the papers, and I remember reading in the comments somebody said, but wouldn't that leave the papers oily? Wouldn't it, spread to your hands and to other papers? And the person said, no, once you dry it properly. But I was thinking, oil and drying, can you really dry oil? Does it really ever dry? And they said, no, it doesn't spread. So I was like, okay, I want to try it. So I did, but yes, it did transfer. Now, mind you, I didn't quote unquote dry it, but I did do again, I did a lot because it's addictive and relaxing. These are also oiled, and I have them there, so I'm waiting to see if they're gonna dry. I have some hung up to quote unquote dry. So I'm waiting to see if after time, if it's going to dry out, as they say. I did pass like like I put other papers on it to soak up some of the oil, I guess you could say. But I'm waiting to see if it dries, quote unquote. I don't know. But I just thought it would be really cool to have in your journal, and I wanted to use it. So I'm just measuring out. Now I'm going to measure the papers to see what needs to cut down, and also I'm trying to put things in a particular order so 2 of the same papers wouldn't be too close together. And I'm excited. I'm really excited. And already this feels like a journal that I will definitely use and finish because it's small. Because I like holding small things in my hand. I also like the texture of it because it's it's not, I mean, paper is nice, cloth is nice. So, I like the tactile feel of cloth, I guess. Here I'm trying to get the figure out where. See, I was trying to use the ruler to measure and I just couldn't figure it out. So I think I think I eventually averaged at some point on this to get the I don't know. I don't know what it is with me and measurements. Math is not my strong suit. I do try though, and it does take up a large portion of my life, believe it or not, but it's definitely not my strong suit. So I'm just trying to get this to fit in the spine without it bending and bouncing on it. And now I'm trying to measure it. So I'm trying to leave some space away from the edge and then divide it evenly in the middle. I don't know if that makes sense to y'all, but yeah. So one of the signatures, two of the signatures will be close to the edge but not on the edge. So I had to measure away from the edge and then inside that space. So it's like if I'm creating a box inside of this this spine. And then I'm measuring. See, I was trying to get half. If I eyeballed it, I would have gotten it. For sure. Yeah. So I measured an inch from both edges and then the center. And I'm using my awl to punch the holes through. And then I'm going to punch the holes through these signatures as well as my spine. I must say it was an interesting experience punching through the cloth. And then I got kind of scared because I was like, am I going to see the holes? Are the holes still going to be there when I'm sewing? Because they look like they almost disappeared as soon as I pull out the needle. Because you know it's cloth, so it just kind of falls back into place. So now I'm measuring the length of the thread for each signature. How much did I do? 1, 2, 3. I think I did 3 for each, 3 lengths of the book for each signature. I'm trying to pick a needle. I also bought some wax. I think, where did I get this? I think I got it in a variety store. I don't even remember. Or was it? No, I got it in an art store actually. I bought some wax. They have it in a flat sheet. And then, so I just kind of bunched it up in a little ball, and I'm using that to wax my thread to make it easier to pull through and to make the thread stronger. And now I'm measuring my signatures so I could punch my holes. And then I'm going to get sewing. I found this little house. I went through my iCards, to be honest, and I found this little house, and I just thought it would be really cool to put on top. I just found it matched better than any of the others that I tried against it. And I also wanted to find something to tie it close because I figured it's going to get nice and chunky, which I love. It just feels so nice, just yummy. So I just had this piece of thread, this piece of cloth that I had from an old curtain, and I just sewed it to the cover, and I stitched the back. Did I stitch the back piece on too? I think I did. Looks crooked, but. And then I have some washi tape here that I got from a pen pal. Yeah, she said we did an art swap, and I'm just using it to tape some of my pockets closed. You see, the oil is printing through. It's. So I'm going to put a piece of paper there to stop it from spreading, from continuing to just put the oil. But yeah, I wasn't pleased when I saw that. Yeah, so I'm just putting a piece of paper in between there to stop it from continuing its damage. And yeah, this is it. So thank you all so much for watching. This is my little book that I made, one completed out of the set. And I have these to do as well. If you want to see me do them, let me know. If not, I'll just do it on the side, no problem. But I look forward to your comments as always and suggestions, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!